Welcome to the Leedz Edutainment Podcast, featuring in-depth interviews with people in hip-hop culture, based out of New England. Leeds. How you doing, brother?
I can't complain, man. I'm beat. I ain't gonna lie, man. This is tonight. All jokes aside, tonight is gonna be the first night. No, I'm lying. I spent one night with my wife since April 12th, but tonight's gonna be the first night that my own bed, quote unquote, my own bed in 2 months. Beat, bro.
And you're in Minnesota right now?
Yep, for the next 6 months.
I heard, Pete said you might be moving out there. I wasn't sure if that was going to happen.
Well, we were kind of weighing our options, both on his end, on my end, and I'm pretty sure you know the situation. He's talking to you about it, and really just coming off of what I was coming off of, and everything he's trying to cook up. It was more or less like now or never. So it's either go hard or just fucking stop talking about music, just fucking be a consumer and fucking go to work somewhere else and have fun. So that conversation went, with my wife and my daughter and everything like that. And it's just, let's be honest, Leeds, like who the fuck is going to go out here and work? I was making $120,000 at UPS. It's just like miserable. Like I'm a hardworking guy. You see me, I put fucking sweat, blood, and tears into anything I do. It doesn't matter. And it's like, nowadays you got to make something for yourself. And especially with the social media stuff, like you just got to shake ass and make it happen. So I'm lucky to have a supportive wife and everything like that believes in me and has faith in me. And so I'm here, Minneapolis, make it fucking happen. Point blank.
Good for you. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Leedz Edutainment Podcast. That was a hell of an intro. That might have been the best intro yet. We got a very special guest, rapper, hustler, jack of all trades, Mr. Bullet Brak.
How you doing? How you doing, sir? And just to shout you out, man, like you guys were you and Pete, you and your brother, man, were a big inspiration and a big help in my career as well. I mean, shit, 10 years ago, bro, at the Lock Show. We were just looking at that the other day. So big up to you, man. Like everything you do in the community in Boston and everything like that. I know it's crazy. People don't like to fucking high five each other and tell people great job, but great job. So yeah, high five all the way through. Real shit though. It's reality, man. So.
I appreciate that, man. Thanks for rocking. I think that was the first time. I think you and Pete just kind of linked up back then. That was probably 8 or 9 years ago, maybe.
Yeah,
when we did
that was. I want to say that was like a year after he came down to DC. And I know you and him always talk on the phone. And I remember that it came up, and you were like, "Oh, your boy's doing this. Does he want to come up?" And I'm like, by the time he could even answer, I had the car waiting out front, ready to go. I don't give a fuck where we're going. We're going. It's Millennium. So.
Yeah, well, don't worry. We don't censor in this podcast.
Right.
But I want to talk about all this, get to all the meat and potatoes. But
I'll slow down. I'll slow down.
Do you know how to slow down? I don't know.
As you can see, I'm already drinking energy drinks. Absolutely not. I'm on my third one.
6th energy drink of the day.
Yeah.
Where we're getting it going here. Greek? You're Greek, obviously. Are you from?
No, my mother's 100% Greek. Our family came over from Greece, and then my dad, he's German and Pittsburghian. I guess that's what he always used to tell me. So, but my grandmother and my grandfather, which is Yai and Papoose in Greek, they lived right down the street from me and basically raised me as a kid, got me out of my trouble. Shit, my grandfather helped me get in a lot of my trouble. But yeah, Greek. So I was really raised Greek. You know what I mean?
Right. What does that mean to be raised Greek?
There's a lot, and anyone that's watching is Greek. They'll understand from from like the church ceremonies to the family gatherings to the food to the customs and the cult. Like going to Greece and seeing how the family operates over there, then being over here, Greek America. Like when you watch My Big Fat Greek Wedding, it's 100% what it is. And
I didn't see that movie. I should.
I mean, it's a fucking corny movie, you know what I mean? But I mean, it's just the customs. It's just everything. Like you see, like you saw me when we were out in the Middle East. Like a lot of the Greeks are always taught to go over and to assure good turnouts, work hard. That's growing up Greek, man. Like making sure everything's done right. Like you don't go outside until all your shit's done. You sit the fuck inside. If you don't get, just regular shit, but just growing up with morals and stuff like that. My grandfather knew a lot of guys from the neighborhood, as we can say. And, movies like Goodfellas and shit like that, they don't really do the justice that a lot of these guys that I grew up around too help install with me. So that's growing up Greek/Italian as well as just, morals and codes and shit like that that are really overlooked for the last 30 years, 40 years.
I worked for a Greek family. One of my first jobs in high school, worked at a pizza shop, guy, Greek owner, Greek family business. Everything was Greek. I was the exception to the rule. Hardest working man I ever worked with. One of the hardest working men I've ever.
Probably never complained neither. Like never.
Never did. Never did.
Bullshit and joke around and everything, but but that's what it is. It's just get the job done, basically, as is what that is, and have fun while you're doing it. But yeah, definitely great-hearted people.
He worked 7 days a week, 12-hour days. Took off Easter. Took off Christmas. Not another day off.
His kid, he had kids, right?
Yep.
Kids went to school and everything, huh?
Kids went to school. Wife kind of, didn't really work in the business. She just took care of the family.
Yep,
and that's pretty much what it was.
That's what it is. I mean, and to be honest, man, like when we go outside, like the United States, I love traveling around the world. Like when you go outside and really realize that this social media shit, a lot of this shit really doesn't matter anywhere else on the planet. I mean, it's cool to look at and everything like that, but that's really what life's about. I talk to my wife all the time, like, this shit is great, but all of us just want to be family, just have a family and do the right thing, because that's really what we're here for.
Do you guys do the whole, do you guys eat the whole goat on Easter? Is the whole thing?
They do all that, slice it up, and everything. The only thing I won't eat is all the Slovaki spick and everything like that. The only thing I don't eat is the vegetables. I don't do the rabbit food. They keep that shit over in Greece or wherever it's from. I don't do that.
He'd bring the skinned, what is it? The scale.
The lamb. No, put the lamb.
Was it goat or a lamb?
Lamb. Lamb, and then because really it's just.
No, it was a goat. It was a goat on Easter. It was a skinned goat they would eat, I think. No.
Well, then your man was wilding. They really do the lamb.
Or maybe it was a lamb. Maybe it was
because
a lamb.
they say Jesus is the lamb. You know what I'm saying? So they use that as saying like this is how he was roasted down here. So the Greeks got
well, it's skinned, so it was tough to tell. But they it was skinned lamb would sit in the cooler with everything else. You'd walk in, whoa.
Yeah, freak you out. Freak you out talking about who owes you money.
That's for Easter.
Yeah.
We eat all of it.
No, everything.
All of it.
No, everything.
I was like, everything? They're like, everything. I was like,
ears, eyes, hooves, everything. Everything's got to go. 1000%.
So that guy just like that guy's work ethic, I was raised around hardworking people too. Stepfather and this guy were my early influences. These guys, like, I was blown away, and he was a good man. So he was a big inspiration for me early in the career.
That's good.
When did you move? When did you born and raised in Annapolis?
So Annapolis, Maryland. Yeah, Annapolis. I was born and raised down there. Grew up all my life, but I had family in New York and Baltimore all the time. So I would go and travel, do my thing. And then I got in trouble around like 18, 19. Sat down for a couple of years, in and out, fucking up, basically, doing
down.
Doing a life on the before. I was basically setting myself up to be doing life on the installment plan. Basically, 3 years here, come out and do all the dumb shit. But luckily, I changed my life. I moved to Frederick, Maryland when I was released, and I met a guy named, I know going off a little off topic, but Mikey Thompson. He was from the Frederick Rescue Mission. He had like 2 life sentences, got his sentences overturned, and they were helping kids out. Like myself and a lot of offenders that were coming home trying to rehabilitate themselves. And I ain't gonna lie, man, like I had like a fucking epiphany, man, being around all those people that were locked up, and then really came out of the Frederick Rescue Mission, bounced back down to Annapolis for 2 weeks, moved out to Phoenix, Arizona. I dealt with a guy that I knew from Def Jam, and then to New York it was 12 years in New York, and then back to Annapolis for a year and a half to meet Pete, and then it was on the road since. So Annapolis, Maryland, yeah, but Maryland's like a transit spot, man. Like you can get on the road and go anywhere from there. So, but Maryland was definitely a good place to grow up. You see a lot of shit. I was in, Baltimore is a crazy, crazy city, and then DC is right down the road too. 30 ways each way you go. So, growing up music-wise too, that was a big influence because you had so many people coming from so many different areas, and then Annapolis is like the meeting conversion spot. So it was like go to house music to the shit that I would listen to, Public Enemy and everything like that. A little taste of everything in Annapolis. That was a good thing, Maryland. It's a boiling pot.
We'll go back to the hustling real bit quick. What made you want to hustle illegally? What was it? Because me and you have similar backgrounds when it comes to that. You did a little more sit-down time than I should have done. But why choose that life? Because it seems like you come from a decent background.
To be honest with you, like my father was a hard working man, but my father came from the old school, as they would say. In other words, you make money all around the table. My grandfather was, I mean, he's passed on and gone now, so it really doesn't matter. But he was the first one to have like slot machines in his pool hall. They would used to come down. I remember being 8 years old and working as the bus boy down there, and all his friends smoking cigars in the back. And I would see everyone go to the phone and they come back and they tell my grandfather something. So come to find out he's running numbers in the back and everything like that. And I always remember bussing tables, and literally the old guys would always say, if you work a job, they tax your money. You know how much tax comes out of your money? And then I would really be like, I don't even know what the fuck tax is. And they would say, well, how about I give you $20 and I take $5 right back? You like that? And I would say, no, I don't like that. And they said, that's tax, and we'll show you how to get this money. So really it came from that, like just being an entrepreneur, just being told like, don't let people, and listening to that and seeing a lot of the way them Goombas used to move. And then where I lived at, the projects were right down the street. And my grandfather, everyone that couldn't get a job in Annapolis at the time, if you were like black or whatever, if you weren't accepted in Annapolis, you go see Pete. And Pete's got something for you. So I used to go down to the projects all the time. I didn't know the difference, because when I would go to where my grandfather was all day, I would see everybody down there. So it wouldn't make no difference. And then listening to hip hop, I got into a discussion with this with Ari the Rugged Man about does music influence people to do things, or are they just waiting to do things? And my whole thing was absolutely, man, listening to Nas, listening to like Dr. Dre the Chronic, listening to like Ice-T and shit like that growing up, absolutely made me want to go hustle and see what it was. And unfortunately, we took it a little bit too far at times. And but it was always just the addiction, probably the same thing you were with you, addicted to the money, addicted to the lifestyle, really. But then growing up and just seeing what it does to people, like people that I went to school with that took ecstasy pills for 10 years, and then they were completely fucked up, raising children that they shouldn't even be having and fucking their lives up. And that was more or less like, nah, I can't be doing this, man. Fuck the jail time and shit like that. We can all sit down, everyone can do a bit. It's not really that. It's just about coming back out and shit just being completely fucked up. I know AZ from the movie Paid in Full, the real AZ, when I was living in Harlem, he was right down the block. He would always talk to me. My first project was produced by his whole little brother. One of the reasons they called him AZ in the movie, but I mean, what's his name? I forget what they called him in the movie right now. Bugs, the reason they called him that in the movie. But he was just saying, like, the worst thing that you can do is go to a situation, and when you come back, everything is fucked up. Like the movies we used to watch, the Goodfellas, they would go away and come back to a pile of money. We're going away and coming back to fucking lives destroyed. So that ain't the way.
I always think of that movie, American Gangster, right?
Yeah.
Where Denzel is, who's the drug dealer?
Frank Lucas.
Frank Lucas. Plays Frank Lucas. Frank Lucas goes to jail. He has everything, right? Loses everything, goes to jail, comes out of jail, and he's just sitting there out of jail finally. And Public Enemy is popular all of a sudden. The Public Enemy song is playing as he get now, like, oh, this is what the world is now. You know what I mean? Like so much changes so quick. Like rap didn't even exist when he went in. Now he gets out. Public Enemy is fucking huge. I love that scene. It's sad, but it's dope.
It's real. It's real, and it really shows you, like, when you do all this and you do all this shit, you go away. No one gives a fuck, and that's really what I learned too. Like, no, you just disappear. No one gives a fuck. So really, you're doing everything for the wrong reasons. And I wish I'd listened when I was young.
When you're young, you don't understand the word consequences. You don't think it's going to happen because you haven't really had any yet, really, for the most part. So it's like, maybe I'll get arrested. I don't know what that looks like. Maybe that'll happen. I'll quit someday before that happens. But someday it never comes. And then all of a sudden you hit with these consequences, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah. And then you don't think about it. Like, for me right now, man, I have shows trying to book me in Canada. Pete and I were just talking about, like, I can't go to Canada because I made stupid decisions when I was younger. I can't get to money and facilitate different things. Luckily, my work ethic and things put me in positions where regular jobs, I shouldn't have been a building manager at UPS controlling 500 people with $1.3 million every night, but I was. I'm a lucky story. I know this probably has a lot to do with it too, but at the end of the day, make better decisions. Anyone watching the Leedz Edutainment podcast, make fucking better decisions. Point blank period.
But I also think at the same time, you going through what you went through and
Correct.
being able to share that experience with other people that might help somebody someday. You know, as long as you keep it positive now, your experience could save somebody's life that might be teetering on that line of like going the wrong path or not. You'd rather hear from someone who's actually been down the wrong path than someone
Correct.
who hasn't even gone down any path yet,
Correct.
or even gone. I always talk about that, you know, your experience, no matter how bad it may be, could save someone else's life. I tell that to
Correct.
people all the time.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Where did you end up in New York when you moved out there?
Harlem, 145th in St. Nicholas, man, right next to Convent, right? Really Sugar Hill. I went up there with Danny Bryant, Positive Energy. He came down. This was after two of my friends got murdered, like literally 3 days before two of my friends got murdered. They were just hanging out with me anyways. He came down, he knew a record producer, and they knew AZ and everyone really well, the Diplomats and everything. I was in a studio session. Right when I walked out of the studio session, the two guys from New York, and they were like, what are you doing with your life? And I was like, hoping I can get something going. And then they were like, let's just come to New York. I went to New York. They let me stay up there and introduced me to a lot of people. And then Institute of Audio Research, here I come 2 weeks later. And then I ended up being up there for about 10 years, right on 145th. And I stayed in Westchester, White Plains, Bedford Hill. I was all over the fucking place up there.
I feel like your personality is more of a New Yorker than it is not that I know many people from Maryland, but I know people from New York, and you have very similar characters.
That's all my family. I mean, my family just literally moved down, and my grandfather just kept it going. My grandfather married my grandmother, and everyone from New York would always come down. Pete was the man. My grandfather was the guy. You know what I mean?
So you got you got New York personality traits.
Oh, the first day I went up there, I went to 145th in St. Nick. I had a backpack full of CDs, and I remember my buddy coming back down the street. And he was like, "Oh, come here, let me talk to you." So I'm like, "What's going on?" He was like, "You can't take the CDs out your backpack." And I'm like, "Why is that?" They're like, "You got Timberlands on, you got a big bubble coat, and you're standing out here handing out your CDs, going in your bag like this to people." They're like, "Yo, they think you're trying to rob people." He was like, "We got 7 calls from up the block." I said, "We're in New York, we're in Harlem." They said, "You got to calm the fuck down, man. People are thinking you're out here robbing people and shit like that." I said, "Well, no, it's a sales pitch."
How many times do people tell you need to calm the fuck down?
Including my wife or not? No, I'm all the time. I mean, I just try to run through the wall, man. Like I really came up under like a Jesse James philosophy, man. I'm just going to shoot them. Like if we're going into a room, just shoot them all and let God figure it out, because we ain't got time for this shit. Just like how you guys were banging, man. Like you and Pete, you guys were banging, and to build what you guys built up there and to see it still flourish and have 4 generations of you guys now still running things. I mean, fuck, man. You ain't take many names. Shit's for toe tags.
How many walls can you try to break through before you hit? It gotta stop
until the accomplishment, until the goal is done, till it's done.
Because I tell you, in my opinion, I've run 150 miles an hour for a long time. Eventually, it caught up with me. I had to balance and slow down and do all this other shit. I couldn't run like that. That's why I'm so amazed by you, because you just keep fucking juggernaut.
I'll be honest with you, man. Like I really take it. It's like the old thing that my big guy, my great grandmother from Sparta used to say. She was just like the blood. Once you get the itch of the blood, they call it in Greek like the itch of the blood. Once you get that traveler mentality, you just can't stop. And I really come to believe that, we all got superpowers, man. And one of my superpowers is the ultimate amount of bullshit that I can just continuously come out with. But besides that too, is that the more energy I give to people, the more energy I get. So I just try to keep that positive and just keep the shit flowing. And then eventually, hopefully in the next 5 years, when I'm 45, we'll have been established everything that we were trying to establish. And then I can calm the fuck down and go back to my baseball games.
I don't really ever see you calming down, even successful. I think you
probably be my passion to turn into helping others and trying to help others be the next entrepreneurs.
That's great. So why did you end up back in Annapolis after New York? Because you got in trouble and you needed to chill out? Is that what it was?
No, to be honest, when I was in New York, man, we were doing all that shit. We were like swaying in the morning. I was going like fucking to a lot of places, and my grandmother got sick. My mother went from working all the time with my dad, retiring, take care of my grandfather. My grandfather died, and then my grandmother started to get sick, and it was more or less like my mom saying, "Matthew, we got to go. So we need help." So really at that time it was saying, hey, I had a good run. maybe now it's time to do what I'm supposed to do because I haven't had a big opportunity come. So that's really what that was, Leeds. I just, and did for those that were there for me. My grandmother picked me up every day from first grade to sixth grade. So it really wasn't a hard decision for me to say fuck it. So that's really why I went back to Annapolis. And I know a lot of people were kind of maybe upset or whatever like that with me because of the decisions I made. But like you said, man, these are the decisions that we live with at the end of the day. So you gotta do what you gotta do. So that's what brought me back to Annapolis.
Did you start rapping in New York? Is that when the rapping started?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Right when we always used to rap. We had one of the hottest groups, the Outsiders, when we were in Annapolis. I had
Not to be confused with the Pace One, the Outsiders.
No, yeah, we were on some. The reason we were the Outsiders is because we would do like house parties. We would go to the house parties and rap and shit like that. But unfortunately, being with me, Brock, we were outside of every party within 15 minutes because we got kicked the fuck outside because I was starting to fight. I was talking shit. I was doing some dumb shit that I should have been doing at the time. So they would be like, get the fuck outside. So we would rap on the porch. And then there you go. Oh, the Outsiders are coming. And that's when like all the battles and all the shit was coming. I don't know if you saw it on the internet, but Drewski just put up a funny ass thing talking about how all the gangsters used to do like the dance steps with the white tees and shit. But that's what it was in the north. That was South. But for us, you know how it was. Everyone was like a battle rap. Let's battle everybody. So that's where the rapping came from. Shit, all the way since, like I said, I was 18 when I got locked up. It was just I could just talk an immense amount of shit, and I would just battle everyone. It would just always be like a joke. I would use it as a joke. So then when I came back, from being in trouble and really putting stuff together, that's where the name Bullet Brak came from, because it's boldness, utility, live energy, lyrical ability, excellence, and talent. I bury rappers after killing, so it's Bullet Brak. But that's really that came. It was just Fat Brock before that, because I was just Fat Brock. I would just come there and talk massive amounts of shit, trying to start a fight with somebody. But the serious rapping, yeah, when I got to New York, when I was in Annapolis and I seen shit and I seen everyone gravitating, but I'm like, it's fucking Annapolis, man. Like, it's go-go music up there in DC and it's Baltimore, house music, but getting to the platform in New York. And I remember the first time going on 145th where everyone was rapping. It's like everyone, it's people that I've seen, like fucking 40 Cows there, like Black Rob was there, like all these people are there. And I'm just like, fuck it. And it was my turn and I went. And I remember after that, everyone going like, yo, the fact that you just came from fucking nowhere and just did that's amazing. And then right after that, I was like, there's no way I got a fucking 150 songs on deck. And I did.
So when did you live in New York? What years?
2007 to 2015, 16.
And
then when I came back, I was bouncing back up and forth all the time until unfortunately, I got caught a gun charge in 2018, right before Pete moved out there.
How did you meet Pete?
Crazy story. You know David Corey, the singer David Corey? He was on like The Voice, The X Factor, and all this shit.
I do remember that name.
Yeah, David Corey. He was doing this. He had the same kind of situation like Jamie Foxx. He was like trying to sing so he could find his mom and everything. And they found him. Actually, it's a great turnout. But he had. I've known him forever. Especially in the Maryland area. It was like, I know basically all the artists. I was the vaccine guy for him, doing my. But anyways, Pete came down to a kid named Kite Status and was like, yo, I got a Glass Malone project we're trying to get done. Do you know anyone in the situation like that can help? And Eric was like, yo, I got the perfect guy for you. He was talking about me. And he called me up and Pete was like, let's meet. And people, they'll tell you this thing too. I met Pete. I had him meet me in a parking garage, in a dark corner of the parking garage. And I pulled up strapped with a Nick velour suit on, talking about, are you the feds? Were you sent to take me down? And Pete's like, what the fuck are you talking about, Brock? I'm here to take you from whatever the fuck you're doing. Meet me in a fucking in a parking alley with a velour suit and a gun to somewhere where we're not going to be doing this anymore, hopefully, for the rest of our lives. And really,
I didn't know that story.
No, when he came there, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, I just saw a lot of me. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is like just being other places that you're not familiar with, just trying to follow your fucking dream and just being out there on the ringer. And really, it was, I really no questions asked, man. I just saw the passion. Everyone's got their little quirks and shit with them that, that can rub people the wrong way or rub people the right way. I didn't give a fuck about that. I respected him for what he was doing, just jumping out on a limb And then that's where everything built and grew. You know, I never even told him. He knew I rapped, but I didn't even tell him for the first year that we worked together because I knew that that's what it wasn't what it was. You know, he came looking for help to do what he was doing, not looking for a fucking rapper. But I think, you know, that helped build our situation a lot better too. It's because I know my role.
Yeah, now that I know more about you, like, well, now that I think about it, when I first heard about you and I met you, I didn't think of you as a rapper first. I thought of you as like a hustler first that wanted to rap. I had no idea your history of the rap shit or, you know, your skill level or any of that. I was just like, oh, this is a hustler that wants to rap. Like, you know what I mean? And then like, now I'm seeing, now I know you, I know your history, I know the music you've made. It's like, no, you're actually a rapper first. You know what I mean?
Whatever,
I'll take that back. You're a hustler first, then rapper.
No, but I'm saying, no, but Leedz, you know me too. Like, if you called me right now and said, yo, Bullet or Brak, I need you to help me with this, this, and this, I'm gonna be that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's, hey man, we need to valet these fucking cars so we can get this show going. Guess what? Matt Brak's gonna be there with the chains tucked in, talking about, I'll be right back for you, sir. No problem.
Hence, yeah, maybe.
Maybe. I was gonna say, yeah, maybe.
Depends on the car. Depends on the car.
Supposedly he came back.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to the car. It was here 1 second. You fucking Ferris Bueller it.
No, but to be honest too, like rapping, like, and seeing, you know, everything that goes on with the being the rapper and everything like that. Like, for me, man, like I really want to play my role with the back. I love the analytics. I love the data. I love seeing how shit works. I love seeing how shit networks and move through. And really, I just know right now, Leedz, that no one's gonna do what Bullet needs them to do. And what I mean is, like, grabbing a young artist to set up everything. I just said, fuck it, ageism is out. I look better than I did 10 years ago. I got shit on deck. It's like, you might as well just put the shit out, build, because this direct-to-consumer life is crazy. It really is. I mean, take it from me, a guy that was trying to make the music, thinking I ain't even doing an impression, going with RA for fucking 30 cities, and literally having people in Spokane, Washington coming to me and going, yo, Bullet Brak. And I'm looking around because I'm thinking these people are going to rob me. I don't know why I'm thinking someone's going to rob me in Spokane, Washington, but I was up there looking like, what the fuck is going on? And they're like, no, bro, we seen your song with Papoose. This shit is dope. And I'm just like, yeah, this shit is crazy. It's definitely crazy. So the rap thing,
yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut
no, I was just saying the life is crazy now. Like, it's all in one, because you people that would DJ, look at Static Selector. He's rhyming. You know what I'm saying? Everyone is rhyming, and anyone
Static is rhyming.
Yeah, I heard some bars. I could have sworn I heard him spit some bars. Maybe it wasn't him.
He spit some bars a long time ago. I didn't know he was really rhyming.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, no shit. Pete got a hot 16. Everyone got shit. You got a hot 16, motherfucker. Everyone. So, but it is
20 years ago. 25 years ago.
I'm trying to transition and see what it is from being like a rapper to make actual songs. You know, we got some songs coming out, but I got a lot of my shit is with rappers. I got record with OT, with Graph, with Term, shit with Rusty, Jokes coming out, like a bunch of shit. But song making is definitely different, and it's that's what I enjoy as well, is writing songs. And Pete and I got a lot of that shit coming up too.
That's dope. Songs people you've worked with already. Pretty impressive. Beat Nuts, Noriega, Currency, The Locks, Gunplay, Ty Dolla $ign, Torre, Chevy Woods, Papoose, Terminology, Chris Rivers, and there's probably a few more I'm missing, right?
Yeah. I got like a lot of street guys too that were in the street, but yeah, like and the ones that we're coming out with now. Shout out to Sticky Fingers. My man looked out for me a lot, treated me like a little brother on tour. We got a record that we're working on right now. Pete and I got some shit with Paul Wall, potentially in the works right now. And I got some other things that I can tell you off the record, you know, but once we get to it, I'll call you later. But then we definitely got some good ones that I'm trying to cook up too. Shout out to Ritz, trying to block all that shit in the situation right now too. I mean, I just see what it is, man. Like especially with the networking nowadays, man, it can help increase your Spotify and your Apple and everything like that too. Just putting the right songs out, and not for nothing. This shit started as a fucking joke to me, man. I was in class for data analytics for Major League Baseball. And my last course, our professor pulled out my whole musical career and put it on display for me and 44 other people that were going into Major League Baseball about direct to consumer, and broke down how I left almost $200,000 on the table by not continuing my career when I was doing nothing. Put all the music back out. Like, he helped me. I set everything up starting last June. last July, I went on a full trip to for the whole month. We went to California, did the Grand Canyon and everything like that. And when I came back, it was over 175,000 streams. And I had all these opportunities sitting, and I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. No one gives a fuck about how old you are. My little brother used to say it to me all the time. He was like, I said, man, this song's from 10 years ago. He said, yeah, but people on Spotify that never heard it, they've never heard it before. And with the entire world being open now, it's ridiculous, man.
You also gotten some pretty serious write-ups too, haven't you? I didn't list them all down, but like talk about some of the write-ups you've been featured on.
I remember I was, the first one was when Double XL started doing everything on the Baltimore and DC area with like Fat Trell and Sly Glizzy. And it was crazy because we were at a networking event, and a woman named Kimberly Brown just came up to me and started talking. Nothing like flirtatious or anything like that, just talking or whatever like that. And I didn't know it at the time, but I helped the Double XL, one of the biggest editors for the Double XL, plot out the whole who's doing what here, here, and here. And then she would ask me about me, and I would be like, no, but I'm trying to facilitate the people that are really doing it, so it makes it work. And she contacted me a week before it came out and was like, hey, just wanted to let you know that I ranked you number 9 in all of the artists. And I'm like, oh yeah. I said, I don't want the favoritism. She was like, no, the fact that you're professional, this, that, and third, and went through it. That was a big one. But I've been in like all of them, man, like Hip Hop DX, Source, all the blog era shit from like DJBooth.net to Two Dope Boys, all that shit. Shout out to Pete too. He helped me with a lot of that too, just connecting people and everything. And then also just meeting people. I can't lie, just like meeting Sway. Like everything was like how this happened, and just being solid and just saying the right things at the right time for real. Like you can tell Pete, man, we linked up with him multiple times personally. And just connecting and networking. That's something that I'll say to a lot of independent artists like myself coming out, man. Like, don't ever burn a bridge, even if you don't like. So I'm saying you do what you got to do, but I mean, necessarily going out and having a bad day, don't let that bad day fuck up the next 10 years of your career, because it really can happen really quick, especially with the social media saying some dumb shit. But yeah, all the blog eras, man. Like I said, I've been in Hip Hop Weekly, all the magazines and everything like that. I mean, those are just really, pats on the back, Leedz. I mean, unless I got the plaques on the fucking wall, they really don't matter. And as long as if I can't do something for my family and for people that need help from me, that shit ain't. But that's the next step, though. That's the next step. I know I don't want to get too far into it, but Pete and I got a plane leaving early Thursday, coming back Sunday, and hopefully, I know we got good news. It's just letting the ink dry on, and then just to show, man, people, you can get it off the sweat of your fucking back. No investors, no nothing like that. Sweat off the fucking back, man. Begging, not beg. I said begging, bugging the fuck out of people, calling them left and right, letting just the presence be known. And that's what's really worked for me. Like, you don't like my email? That's cool. I'm gonna change it and send it to you again. How about that? And it's really, not trying to be ignorant with it, just being persistent and learning from the mistakes. So to answer your question, though, a lot of the outlets showed me a lot of love, and it's continuing to go now. And now it's just trying to just move it forward and continue that.
Now you talk about networking, and you're an excellent networker. This is a skill I wish I was better at. I see a lot of people not even attempt.
Yeah. But
to me, this is very crucial in the music business. Looking at my experience now, I wish I had done more of it. I'm working on it, but you, my friend, are a great networker. Talk about the importance of that and your whole approach to that. You touched up on it a little bit.
It's literally everything. I'm underqualified for fucking everything I do in life. And what I mean by that is just, there's a lot of people I see that go out and they put the time in. And unfortunately, like you said, my grandfather and my grandmother says the gift of gab, they call it, or whatever. I was just always taught that you just respect people. And I really think that the networking for me, it comes out of respect. That's why I put it on my arm when I was young. When I shake a man's hand, it's respect. And I think a lot of network stops because the pre-notions, right? The preconceived notions of saying, oh, I'm this status level, I can't talk to this status level because this might happen. No, you don't know what that fucking person just went through to help you. My grandfather always used to tell me, you can learn things from the president of the company and from the bum that sits outside in the corner, right? From the president, you learn the good things, and from the bum, you learn how to not to be a bum. So with me, networking is everything, man. It's like just being personable, because in all honesty, I've rubbed shoulders with probably every fucking major label rapper there is. And me being a sports guy, I love baseball, right? When I work for Major League Baseball, when I'm out, I don't want to fucking talk baseball. I want to talk something else and engage with somebody else. So like at a music concert, number one, the big shooter in the foot is I tell everyone, like, please, if you're an independent artist and you're opening for a bigger artist, right? You have that avenue to meet the artist, talk to them, fuck with them. Please don't talk about your new hot song that you got coming out and all this other bullshit and everything like that, unless that question is asked by you. Because really networking is all about being personable and building a relationship. And
especially with the first impressions, first time you meet somebody. I always say this to people. It's like, if you meet someone for the first time and I'm asking you for a favor right off the rip,
it's ridiculous.
It's a bad look. It's a bad look. And I feel like people, you know, in social media kind of approach the same thing. It's like you reach out to people asking for favors. You don't know this person. No one's going to do you a favor that don't know you. You know what I mean?
And it's so bad that people don't even realize they're asking of a favor. They feel like
desperation too. It's like, this is my moment. I have to do everything now because who knows when this is when I get this opportunity again.
Correct.
Right.
And it's a lot of misinformation that's out there. And that's what it leads to. Like, okay, for Leedz right here, a lot of artists will see you at an event and think, like you just said, here's my FOMO. This is the fear of missing out. I got to rush to him right now, not knowing that this man has a family. This man has a fucking life. He has a career. He has a job in hand right now, trying to perform the job right now. I know you make it look great and easy, but at the end of the day, it's just that right there. And that shoots you in the foot worse than anything else in the world. Because if a person is doing their job, getting ready to perform, and you come shit on that, you're never, ever going to want. Everyone wants the energy to go uphill. Shit comes downhill, the energy goes uphill. So for me, also, when you say to me, like, oh, Brak, you're a ball of energy. I know I have to be, because there's a lot of people around me that are working overtime that they need someone like me to step up and be like you said, don't worry about got to go all the way around. I'm gonna run through the fucking brick wall and you can just walk when I'll give you a thumbs up when we're good to go. So, you know, also that being an there we go. Also being an icebreaker as well. It's just being talking, because here's another thing, right? Just like you're a smart, intelligent person. If you and I are talking and I want to build a relationship, you know, knowing what to say, and what I mean by that is like doing your history on people. This is another tip for you independent artists. Do your history on who you're talking to, instead of just running to the person and going blah, 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 and just saying me, 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 me. Know who you're talking to, know what you're talking about, and be confident in what you're saying. Because the worst thing you can do as an independent artist, if you do get that 15 seconds to shine and talk to someone and you sound like a bumbling fucking idiot, you will be the butt of the joke. You will laugh, and then that will be your fucking everything you've worked to is to that. So just remember preparation, and just be prepared for everything. And really, once again, that comes with the networking. When I wanted to get into the music industry, I looked into the mirror every day and I would give myself objections of what someone would say to me and how I'm gonna look you dead in the fucking face, and I'm gonna get through that objection without batting an eye, without blinking. And that's really comes with confidence. And you got to have it's a balance, man. You got to have both of them, because you can't be unconfident about what the fuck you're talking about and trying to get somewhere with that. Same thing with a woman. Man. If you're just saying the same lame shit, you're gonna go to dinner with her, you're gonna buy dinner, and she's gonna go to fuck home to the guy that sent her slick text messages. Let's just be real. So be the guy sending the slick text messages. But networking is the biggest thing, because I've met a lot of artists. I'm not gonna say their names, that they're horrible. They're not responsible. They're not accountable. They don't show up even when they're paid, and they got a good personality, so they're still in the one, because you don't really see the dysfunction. You just see what charisma comes across on the TV screen. So once again, like I said, pick your poison.
So you get back in the game, you start rapping, you're back in the blog era. You're doing well. You're building a buzz for yourself, and now, you know, Baltimore has a good scene there. Maryland, what do they call that area again?
So it was the DMV.
The DMV.
They would call it the DMV, the DC, Maryland, Virginia. They just call it DMV because everyone.
The DMV, good scene there. You know, a lot of I've seen it too. I went down there and I saw, like, you dropped the mixtape, and people were like, yo, other rappers are even telling you it was dope. So that's there's a decent scene. And then you stop. You take a hiatus. What happened?
Life, man. Life, like I was saying, you know, my grandmother with dementia, Alzheimer's, they're having to be moved into a nursing home facility.
Where was that? In Florida?
No, Baltimore.
Baltimore, yeah.
Baltimore. And then that's really when I just stopped. I just stopped. I really my buddy said, why don't you just come out to UPS real quick, man? Get your mind right while you just come out here. And I literally started as a packet chamber in DC. and went from making $17 an hour to 3 months later, someone going, hey, I'm going to give you $120,000 a year because you can run this shit. You can do this. And once again, that came from the music, just waking up and being like, you got to fucking make something happen. So, doing that and just really seeing what the game was, seeing Pete get fired from whatever the fuck happened, the job going away in CBS. Let me not say fired because there was a whole bunch of fucking stupid shit that was going on. Radio just crashing, the music industry crashed. So me having that bitter feeling of being like, putting so much work into something and just like that, no one even giving a fuck. Seeing one of my good friends go through the bullshit. And then with me, just street life shit, pulling one way, my mother and father pulling one way. And once again, like I said, my father drove 3 hours one night to try to get me out of jail and sat there for 5 days, didn't move because shit was shut down, didn't move from the bench. So my whole thing was, when people like that ask you and say, hey, not even ask you, just say, hey, we need something. There is no question for me right now. If I hate to say it like that. If my family needs me, if my wife needs me, if my daughter needs me, whatever, gone. Shit, unless I got fans out there that are going to help me with my life, and do shit like that. You got to do what you got to do. There's a lot of people I see that they block all that out. They say, fuck all that. I just know when you get older, man, it's just going to haunt the fuck out you. So I just had to go with that. So that's why, and I feel.
Is that why you ended up in Florida? Because the UPS job put you there?
It happened crazy because the woman I was talking to, who's my wife now, while I was in Maryland, I just didn't want to be there anymore. I wanted to, start my family up. I'm getting older, man. Like I stopped everything that I wanted to do for 12 years to chase this dream, no alcohol, no nothing like that. I never did no party, none of that shit. So, luckily,
no weed?
Not luckily,
no
huh?
weed?
Oh,
no
motherfucker, about a pound those, man. I can't, I'm itching to go fucking smoke right the fuck now.
You smoke backwoods, don't you? There it is. Yeah, here we go. Backwards to the face.
I got the backwards in the thing. I'm gonna go on live tonight. I'll tell you, there's a fucking conspiracy going on in Minneapolis, and they got the wrong motherfucking Greek out here because I'm gonna get to the bottom of this shit. They got some bullshit called flavor tobacco tax, and I told them the only flavor of my tobacco is Kush. So if I don't have Kush in that fucking tobacco, we're not gonna charge you more. But yeah, it's horrible. I'm not for smoking. Those are the worst. But it does calm me down. When I was young, man, they gave me the ADD shit, ADHD. I had ADHD. What are we talking about again? Like that's how bad I was. And they gave me like the Ritalin and all that crazy shit. I couldn't do that. So had to be weed. But anyways, shout out to COVID for fucking my life up and helping me get sent down to Florida. But it did work out. I wanted to be down there. I wanted to pursue something with my longtime girlfriend at the time, my fiance, my wife. And I just lucked out because they had a transfer open for Fort Myers. But went down there, got jerked around by UPS and really saw what like corporate life was about you, learned what it was to go somewhere else where I was the big dog somewhere else. And it's like coming to a smaller facility. And it really just showed me that that's not what I need to be doing in life. And then I took the 3 years to really build a second game plan. I went to school, got my degree for sports management, baseball in particular. I got registered for an agent. I had my agent license and everything like that for baseball. And I said, fuck UPS, man. I went and started working part-time for Major League Baseball and pursuing my musical career again after going through everything at, with my teacher, just breaking it down, saying, you left all this money on the table and seeing the reaction. Now here I am.
So you've always been a lifetime baseball fan?
Always, man, since a little kid. All the stories that I were taught.
Did you play?
Oh, yeah, 15 years. Played for 15 years. I was second base, first base, and third base.
Nice.
I was a huge student of the game. One of my clients is, I talk to him every day, Manny Sanguian, two-time World Series champion, played for the Pittsburgh Pirates for 11 years. Best friends of Roberto Clemente. Roberto Clemente was who I was. My life is fucking crazy, man, because it's everyone that I want to talk to, I want to work with, I want to do this. They come into my life. Like being 8 years old, I was hearing stories about how Roberto Clemente died. He was the best baseball. He was the most famous baseball player at the time, just won the championship. And he died trying to help kids in Nicaragua from an earthquake. And like, I remember those stories as a kid. I remember seeing pictures as a kid. And I remember starting baseball. My buddy pulled me up and said, yo, you're one of the most energetic people I've ever met. And I want to introduce you to someone. And it's fucking Manny Sanguian. And now I'm like his nephew. I talk to him every day. So dreams can come true. I do have a coin that I found when my grandfather died has Angel on the front, says dreams do come true, and they definitely do. Definitely baseball has taught me a lot about life too. Man. Like you got to be in it for the long haul. If you strike out the first 2 times, you might have another time coming, so rip and you can still make up for it. So I definitely love the sport too. The best thing is going out and you see like the grandkids with their kids making memories. Makes me ready to cry now. I remember the shit. You can't get that shit from fucking being on social media and shit like that. You can't do that shit. And unfortunately, a lot of that shit is going to the wayside, not just baseball, just interaction in general. There's nothing funner than talking shit and cracking jokes and everything like that, and still, being friends and being brothers. So I really love baseball like that because it gives you all those games and it gives you just so much time to talk shit and build with people. And that's really what we need now. So yeah, baseball always, man. Baseball forever, always. And I love going down there. It's my way to help too. Not to try to anything like that, but we've helped a lot of children in Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, school supplies, health supplies, also in Greece too with soccer. This is the best thing you can do, man, is just give back. And I use baseball as that propellant to do that.
But now you get to go see some Twins games out in Minnesota.
Fuck no, man. These fucking Twins are horrible, man. Pete and I were watching the thing. There's like 18 people out there. Pete was like, look, there's only 10 people. I said, no, Pete, those are called ushers, bro. They work there. Those aren't, they're not fans. They work there. It's horrible.
The only Twins player I ever remembered was Kirby Puckett. That's the only one I know.
It's the only one worth remembering.
He was great. He was amazing.
They let him kill himself. They let him fucking eat himself to death and all the fast food shit and everything like that.
Didn't he get blind? Didn't he go blind to something?
From diabetes.
Did you ever catch a game when you probably didn't have time, but did you ever catch a game at Fenway?
Yeah. So what I did too was when I stopped making music, I had a whole shitload of money saved up. So I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to every fucking ballpark there is. So I went to 30 out of 31. I went to the World Series Game 4 when the Dodgers played the Astros. I saw the Orioles play in Fenway. I sat on the green. Shout out to Tito. Tito got me the Fenway seats on top of the Monster, and I sat right behind third base line. I've been all over them. I've done the stadium tours in every single one of them. I've been to the All-Star Game, Home Run Derby, any fucking thing, World Baseball Classic, all that shit. I even saw the Red Sox play the Yankees in London. My wife and I went over there for 3 weeks, and then went to the World Cup too. So
one of my early childhood experiences, I went to see a Phillies Giants game in the old Philly Stadium.
Yeah, beautiful, man. What are you talking about, man?
But the old one, not before they redid it. It wasn't so beautiful back then.
No, that's what I'm saying. That was when you had a 50-50 chance of walking out of the night game. You might get fucking shot. That's when the Phillies, I'm telling you, I've been everywhere.
You would know. No, it was a grind. I remember the stadium it wasn't a nice stadium. It was kind of falling apart.
Rickety down and everything like that.
Yeah.
They had to go through ownership 15 years ago to get all that shit. That's when Lenny Dykstra played for the Phillies and said it was like playing for a fucking drug rehab team. Yeah, it was horrible.
That's when it was like the Mike Schmidt era.
Great third baseman though, bro. One of the
it was like the Mike Schmidt era. I think it was like right after he left, or like it was right around that time.
Yeah, it's like the same time with Pete Rose and then. That's when Pete Rose got jammed up for all the gambling shit.
Now, Pete Rose was already a coach as a coach, not a player. Yeah, Pete Rose. Yeah.
But for the Phillies, though, I think he was for the Phillies at the time, or the Expos.
Might have been the Reds. No,
Reds, back to the Reds.
I don't remember.
That's my guy.
I'm trying to think who was on that team. I can't remember. That was like 90, 91.
Yeah, I was gonna say Schmidt. It was just fucking Mike Schmidt and fucking some iron workers and the guy that busts his tables.
Who was the catcher? Larry Parrish, right? He was decent, right? Larry Parrish, I think back then. No?
He was a guy that showed up every day. He's a good guy, man. He shows up to work every day, man. He fucking can't hit for shit.
Who's your favorite player?
Now or of all time?
Like your favorite baseball player. Who was your favorite baseball? If you have a couple, name them.
Roberto Clemente, just because of I watched all game film of him.
Yeah.
Never saw him obviously in person, but just because once again, it's just what the players do off the field means everything to me. Like Shoeless Joe Jackson, I got to meet his great-great-grandson and tour his house and everything like that. Just seeing how fucking people use baseball and hitting the fucking ball to change their life. That's why I love rap music. We're making shit for nothing. We're doing that. But right now, baseball-wise, man, it's tough. There's a lot of good. I like Acuna Jr., man. I like Ronald from down there. I like Ozzy Alvarez too. I like Rafael Devers. You guys had him. Mookie Betts, he's a fucking stand-up guy, man. He's a great guy. They did him dirty all through the league, but a lot of good guys, man. A lot of good ball players. And right now, I would have to probably say Ron Acuna Jr., man. He's a fucking beast, and I like the way he plays, and he's got a fucking huge attitude and chip on his shoulder. And that's the way the game should be played.
Fair enough. Going back to networking, you decided to get back in the rap game, and you've been making a lot of moves really quickly. You get on, he calls me one day, he's like, "You're never going to believe this. Brock has somehow gotten himself tour managing the R.A. the Rugged Man Onyx tour,
Great.
selling merch and running the whole thing." And I'm like, how did this happen? How did this happen?
It went from, I was doing a lot of things with Major League Baseball. This was in March. And I told my wife, I said, I got to break out. I got to do something. So RA put a tweet out that said, "Hey, we need help for 2 weeks for merchandise. And we're going to be in Florida and name the things." And I said, "Man, you got to fucking joking." So when he sent it, I said, "Fuck it." I sent up a real nice email, typed out the whole thing, everything that I've done from UPS to everything. UPS saying how I can load trucks, I can pack this, I know inventory, I know this, I know that. And then literally at the end, I was like, "You should select me because I'm the motherfucking man." And then put the Rhyme affiliated video under that. So later on down the tour, there was 370 people that applied for it. And it was me and another guy. And
374 people applied to be merch for R.A. the Rugged Man?
Absolutely, bro. 374
Amazing.
people. Amazing, right? So they tell me to meet him in Jacksonville. They were like, "Oh, the tour is fucking up." RA calls me on the phone. We're building, the tour is fucking up. I don't want you to come out here for nothing. I said, "First off, you don't have to worry about none of that. I'll meet you in fucking Jacksonville." Got to Jacksonville. I seen what it is. They had a tour manager out there. This kid, disrespect him, way over his head. The first night I helped him sell the merch. They were like, "Oh, we're averaging 500. I sold $1,300 in merch. I think I literally made everyone buy something for $25. I literally went into the bathroom Leeds at the end of the night, pressed everyone out, was like, "I seen you fucking drinking them cheap ass beers. You better go buy a shirt." My man bought 3 of them. But when they put the mic down, so when we got there, it was so in disarray. There was like no music in the beginning for the live local acts. There's no one hosting nothing. There's nothing. So I'm just sitting back and I'm watching. I'm like, you got me fucked up. So I talked to the stage manager that was for the tour, and he was like, "Yeah, we didn't really think about that. Don't worry about that." I walked right over to the thing. Leeds, when I tell you, when I picked the microphone up, that was it. I started hosting. I said, "Listen, just give me the fucking names." I started hosting the people, selling the merch. I told him, I said, "Hey, matter of fact, I got 2 of my songs here. Put this UBS in, this USB in. Let me go ahead and perform." And then I was performing, and then RA came in and saw me performing and came back to the merch joint and was like, "How much did you sell?" I was like, 900 already. He was like, can you rock on my set?" I'm like, "There's a fucking bear shit in the woods and fucking tear your arm off if you come for him?" "Yeah, of course." And then literally it went from that to 2 days later, me riding the shit out of the tour manager, telling him, "No, you're fucking up on this. You got to do this. You got to do that." To him saying, "Well, fuck it, then I'll leave." And then me helping him pack his bags, me helping him actually pack the bag, calling the tour manager and saying, "Your man's leaving and I'm going to take over." Because RA calls me on the phone. He goes, "Bullet, come outside of the hotel real quick." Oh, the hotel room. I open the hotel room. I go, "What's up, R?" He goes, "Yo, you the new tour manager. Make sure you call Live Nation in them." I was like, "Shoot me the number." Got you. So off of that, the guy was like, "Do you think you can handle it?" And I was like, "Yeah." So took my car. I took my fucking 3 days worth of clothes. I took my $3,000 worth of merchandise in 30 cities later.
Why did the tour get fucked up? What happened?
I know. I don't know specifically what happened before I got there, but there was a lot of promotional marketing. Like I want to just use the word blunders, shit that happened that shouldn't have happened. And really, when it came to the tour manager that we were dealing with, he was just completely under-equipped, and he's just going through cities with no connections. And I'm thinking to myself, you're not going to be able to get this done if you have no connections. And I guess that there was a disconnect between Leo Presents and Live Nation. So the marketing gets fucked up. And literally every city we get to, everyone's 2 days after we leave the city, except for like Boston, like how you helped us with. And there was definitely some shows that you guys helped us with. The turnout was amazing. But the cities that weren't promoted, it was just like, we didn't even know you were coming. So that's really what fucking boiled down and what it really came down to was just the confusion of that and the lack of the getting it all the way out and the promoting. And then emails getting sent out because Live Nation's not knowing what's going on. This other company's not going on. So they're confused, and you got promoters that backing out, and then we're trying to get them back in. So it was just a clusterfuck. But it was a great learning opportunity. It was a great experience that I took away from it, of just being like, I don't give a fuck what's putting in front of our way. We're gonna bulldog the shit but still do it the right way, still do it the correct way. Don't be disrespectful. I think I said yes, ma'am, and no. I literally had the club in North Carolina was like, can you please bring your rapper friends back? This was the most respectful, like Christian rap tour. And I'm just like, no, man. I mean, I'm just trying to take the helm on my back and just do everything we can.
Oh, this is the Greek. This is the Greek Orthodox tour.
But Leedz, this is what I'll tell every independent artist.
No, you're very respectful. You're very respectful, dude.
But if you want this though, like if you really want this, man, like I get so tired of hearing people go, I want this, and then a little bit of adversity is thrown at someone in front of their face and they fucking crumble like a dry cake. And it's like, no, you make the shit happen. We couldn't get a rental van. I fucking packed 4 people's fucking full gear for a month in the back of a Lincoln, whatchamacallit, we made it to where we go. We don't have money to make this. We're not getting this. Fuck that. We're going to make it happen. Sell fucking 25 extra fucking CDs. Make the shit happen. Don't give me excuses. Show me results. And that's really what it was. And like talking to you, man, and talking to Pete on the phone, like motivation to just being like, every problem that I have, I know I got 8 minutes, right? Every night, I got 8 minutes to go on and crush that fucking set by myself. And then RA was like, bro, do my backups. Here, do I get busy every fucking night wherever we go? And it was just baseball. Once again, man, I'm gripping and gripping. It's the bottom of the ninth every fucking night. And I'm going home a winner, or I'm going home. So I made it to the end of the tour. So that'll let you know what that knows. And really it was great, man. Like I said, at the end of the tour, people were like, bro, we seen you on the internet. Like the one guy was like, bro, we could shoot dice with RA. Can we shoot a dice game right now? Like, we're gonna go to jail. But if you want to, yes. But I mean, just seeing that and really like,
want to,
now,
yes.
Yes, we can. And I will fade you on the nine right now. But now it's like lifetime friends, man, just stepping up to the plate. Sticky Fingers calls me, fucks with me on, whenever. RA fucking sends me pictures, of his kids making fun of me and shit like that, busting my balls on the internet, on the personal shit, hitting me up, yo, Bullet, I got this record to do, So it's like, it just shows me once again, and like I'm just passing on, like the hard work does pay off. And it's like, I could have went there. I could have fucking joked around. You saw how I was in Boston, man. I was fucking dripping sweat. I fucking saved the one guy's life. My man fucking it hits me on Instagram all the time. Like, you saved my life. I'm like, I don't even fucking remember, but if you say so, whatever. But I could have went there. I could have been drinking. I could have been fucking smoking weed in the parties and everything like that. I could have been acting like this and acting like that. I never would have got nowhere. I'd have ruined my relationship with my wife. I'd have ruined my relationship with the artist. That I don't want Leedz looking at me. He's helping me out, and he's going, oh, fucking Brak's over here drinking and having fun. That's not how the game goes. It's not how the game goes at all. So
I look over at the end of the night. I'm like, the show's over. It's like 12:30 at night. I look over. I was like, where's Brak? And you're doing push-ups.
Yeah.
Doing push-ups in the Middle East downstairs, just going like hard. The show's over. Been over. Room's cleared out, and you're doing push-ups. That's your intensity.
But I also wanted to show people, like everybody else too, like all the people, the independent artists, like y'all saw exactly what I did. Now look at me now. I'm still exerting all this energy and working out and showing them, like, you motherfuckers are gonna have to step toe to toe to me one day. It might not be right now, but when my turn comes around in the music industry, you're gonna remember them 150 push-ups Bullet did at 1:30 in the morning after everyone was fucking toast.
Oh, I will remember. I will remember, because that was the
first. Sammy Gerber, shout out to Sammy Gerber. Right when you had left, Sammy comes around the corner and I'm doing the knuckle push-ups. I'm doing the one things I used to do.
Oh, they were knuckle too. Wow.
Yo, bro, RA's got me on video in Cleveland doing knuckle push-ups, climbing my feet up the wall where I'm standing completely up and down, doing 100 push-ups like this with my head hitting the ground. I'm doing that shit. Sammy came to me, was like, hey, the guys down there are asking what drugs you want. That was the running joke. Everyone used to be like, when I would get all fucking crazy, they would be like, imagine if Brak did coke. That would be crazy. And I'm like, no, we'd all be in jail. We'd all be dead. I would pick the club up and shake it. But once again, though, you have to have the intensity, man. You have to have the drive, because once again, now there's a million people trying to do exactly what we do. Right.
The other highlight on Instagram I had is when the guy wasn't getting hype enough, so you picked him up and made him jump
13 times. 13 times we did that. 13 different shows. And the one and the second guy, I'll send you the video personally. The one guy, literally, I'm lifting him up, right? And I'm going, my bad, man. I didn't mean to get you that high. This was in Cleveland. We put my man down. His name was Shorty. Leedz. Shorty looked me dead in my face and said, that don't get me higher than crack does. And right now, I'm high on crack. And I was like, you know what, sir? You make a really good point. And then we had a nice, we stopped it. We said, can everyone say, Shorty, crack is whack, love from Brak. And I literally had 300 people say that. And I was like, this is the funniest shit in the world. And I picked him back up over my head. And that was the greatest night of my life, honestly.
Yeah, that's amazing.
No, but luckily though, it was with RA fans, so I know they're into that shit. And just to put a disclaimer, I wasn't out there snatching people up and fucking just, I would let people know we're gonna have some fun. And they were like, no, we're into, I wasn't disrespecting. The worst thing I did though, we were in Detroit and we were doing the Put 'Em in the Hole song, which is like the mosh pit song. And I did take it a little bit over. And there was a guy standing up there and they were like, the guy was like, fucking just rob me on stage. You guys fucking hilarious. So I was so hyped up, Leedz. I put both of my hands on his pockets and ripped the fucking thing. And literally the whole front side of his jeans came off. His money went flying everywhere and everything.
You pantsed him? You pantsed him at the show, dude?
100% pantsed. All for entertainment though, man. It was all for entertainment. So fucking great.
Oh, that's entertaining. Amazing job. Great job. You worked your ass off. I saw the highlight reel. You're a worker. I want to go back a little bit to the Rhyme affiliated video that you did with Papoose.
Yeah.
And I remember Pete telling me that you actually, did you go up into TuneCore with Papoose and talk to all those people? So
Pat looked me out. Basically, we had a song like way back when with Pete and everything like that. And we were gonna, so before he did everything with TuneCore, we already had the record done. The Rhyme affiliated record was already done. So right. September, the year prior, I was supposed to go and shoot the video with him for the old song that we had. And the hurricane happened. So I called Pat and I was like, yo, bro, I had paid him the money for it and everything. I said, I just can't come do the video. And he's like, wow, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm in Fort Myers, but I'm at the Red Cross. I got fucking 400 people down here trying to help these people. And he was like, yo, say no more. Like, that's great. And when I was done, I called him and he was like, yo, I just did a whole new record for you. So I was like, bet. And then that's how that all came along. It was supposed to be a video for the old situation, but the hurricane and then me just coming to him as a man and being like, I can't leave here when my neighbors, I don't know them, but I'm saying my neighbors, they don't have no food. Like, I can't do that. And that really just turned into a great situation with the Rhyme affiliated and getting all that done and having him come through and really talk to me. And shout out to Miss Amy from TuneCore. Sat me down and was like, yo, this is what you're going to do with, with us. We're going to help you get right. And they've been supporting me all the way through and through. TuneCore is definitely, if I could tell any artist I was working with CD Baby and DistroKid and all that before, TuneCore is definitely the new wave in the new motion, in the ocean. It's definitely what to get with. And like I said, Papoose is a person that's out there, working. He's an independent, he's doing it and he's showing us the way. And there's a lot of opportunities through TuneCore. So with that, once we go back after our situation this week and we go back to New York, yes, I will be in there talking with all of them, going into the building and doing everything like that. I think first they had to make sure that I wasn't going to get arrested after I put out my music and started getting a buzz again. And now that I think they see that's all good. Shout out to people like Gorilla Nims as well, too, showing that shitbags like myself and him can actually do the thing and be appropriate.
Is this shitbag rap? Is that what we're talking about here? Is this shitbag?
Definitely shitbag rap. Bullet Brak is the leader shitbag rap.
That's the name of the album, Shitbag Rap. So, Brock, this has been intense and exhausting at the same time, but chock full of great information and great experiences.
Yes, sir.
What do we got on the horizon that you can talk about?
Like I said, June 30th, we got the OT the Real video record coming out. I had a lot of people in Baltimore show up for that. July 28th, I'm dropping a record, video, and we're doing an exclusive show with Terminology and myself out in Denver. I got, like I said, a lot of shit with, records with Graph coming up. We might have a major label situation, not the group, but a major label situation that we might be releasing some records and everything through that. That's a possibility of happening. And we have an album coming up that I'm working on. I'm going to take a lot of my features that I've had, and I got some other shit that I haven't talked about yet, but definitely some good stuff. I also have something with Rusty Jukes. Everyone's, Rusty is really burning the shit up. We got a project we're working on called the Rusty Bullet. That's going to be dope. We got some dope producers on there. I can't get that all the way out, but the Beat Miners are definitely on there. That's a great sound from back in the old, the BCC days and everything like that. So that's what we got coming up right now. And we're going to be releasing some show dates pretty soon as well, too. Just trying to ink everything. You know, it's kind of crazy when you go doing shows for exposure to now it's like, nah, motherfucker, we're gonna need that check. Please send it through this way. So we're just working on that. Please, and thank you.
Please.
But we're working on getting all that situated, and then I'll definitely be back with you to let you know everything that we got going on. But I know after this weekend, might want to get your brother Pete on here so y'all can have a good conversation too, because I think he's gonna have a lot to talk about it.
That's good to hear. Let's hope that goes through.
And we know it's gonna go through because he's got his brother Bullet out there. I'll bite some fucking leg off and beat him with it right then and there.
There it is. the
But
dynamic duo.
sir.
The dynamic duo is back in Minnesota now. God help everybody in the state.
We're all a team. Man. You're a team, bro. Like you're part of the team. Like you're a goddamn with it. And the people that don't know, like, man, you want to get your records moving and stuff like that. Get with Leedz, man. Contact their company, what he does. And for people that are watching this, you obviously know who Leedz is. But if you don't, if you're watching this through my end and it's out, go check this man out. Putting on for the Boston hip hop scene. Putting on for the Northeast, not just fucking Boston. Like everyone looks at it and says, oh, this is one area. Fuck that, because people that I know that you've worked with personally are national touring acts. There ain't no fucking one place. So thanks to you once again. Kudos what you got, man. Hey, you and Pete were one of the people to put me on one of my first non-drug dealer money shows. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you
we got non-drug deal shows and drug dealing shows. You know what I mean?
No, before that there was plenty.
It's a fine line. It's a fine line.
It used to be about a quarter ounce line that would get me onto the shows.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, I appreciate your time.
Anywho,
we're getting ready to go shoot out to the Millie show like right now. Pete just hit me up.
Millie's tonight?
Yeah, he's out here tonight. So we're getting
out to Millie's.
Yep.
All right, well, I'll let you go, man. Thank you. I want to thank everybody for tuning into the Leedz Edutainment Podcast with the one and only Bullet Brak. Thank you, brother.
My man, you have a great one, sir.
I'll talk later.
Peace.